Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. My name is Gary Call. I'm the principal of Clarkston High School. I'm just here to provide a brief welcome. Kind of the mastermind behind this today is our Deputy Liaison Officer, Frank Gavey. I'd really like to thank Frank for bringing this to us. Frank is a veteran. We don't have anybody currently on our administrative staff who has any formal experiences with the armed forces. But of course, when Frank came to work with us a couple of years ago, one of the goals he wanted to have was to increase the presence, the understanding of all the things that the armed forces can bring. And he's really done that. In speaking to some of the gentlemen that are here today, there's a lot of opportunities that the military can bring to young people. One of the things that I've always been very, very impressed with about our military and the relationships that we have with the recruiters who come in and talk to our kids is the idea of service. We try to provide a lot of opportunities for students to serve their community, to serve each other at Clarkston High School, but of course there's no greater service that you can conduct than service to your country. So on behalf of Clarkston High School, to all of you here who are signing today, I wish you the best of luck, and I wish you great experiences. And I know as you go through your lives, there can be nothing as important as what you're going to do over the next several years or perhaps over a career with the armed services. So congratulations, kids. At this time, I'd like to ask you to direct your attention to the flag behind me, and we will have Ed Ketzler will now perform our national anthem. Thank you, Ed. At this time, I'd like to call up to the podium the guest speaker we have for you today, Lieutenant Colonel Corey Edmonds.
Good afternoon. I'm Lieutenant Colonel Corey Edmonds. I'm the commander of the 339th Recruiting Squadron located right here in Michigan. Our area will basically cover the entire state of Michigan, northern Indiana, northern Ohio. I'm really excited to be here today because I think this is an awesome event, and I'd like to say thank you to Principal Gary Cowell, Counselor Julie Krasuk, and Oakland Sheriff Deputy School Liaison Frank Gavey for organizing this signing day. It's an outstanding concept, and it is absolutely the right thing to do because the men and women here are an elite group of people that should be recognized. I hope that more schools will follow in the footsteps and see the value in military service as an opportunity. Along this mindset, I'd like to share a few facts that I pulled from a Philadelphia newspaper a couple months ago that I think everybody should be aware of. First, less than 30% of all high school seniors can even qualify for military service. Unfortunately, most of them cannot meet the physical fitness requirements, can't pass a drug, test or score high enough on the military examination. That's only 30% across the country. And that's why I think this group is an elite group already. Second, nearly 75% of all new enlistees out of high school will serve only one tour of duty, normally 48 to 60 months compared to their fellow classmates. 30% of people that go straight to college end up dropping out of their first year and a half. Half of them never graduate. So before half of their fellow classmates graduate from college, 6 years on average, these young adults will be separating from the military, entering college with academic credits earned from their military service, and using their earned GI Bill education benefits to attend college at no or very low cost to include housing. I don't know about you, but after 18 years of service, I finally paid off my college loans 2 months ago. And since I've joined the military has paid for my master's degree, and I'm hoping to get a PhD paid for by the military as well. So the opportunities are available. Third, students who are veterans have already learned how to work in teams. They are more likely to graduate from college, they tend to have higher GPAs, and they earn more academically rigorous college degrees than their non-veteran counterparts. Just 3 months ago, I handed out 9 community college of the Air Force associate's degrees to recruiters in my squadron. And next month, I have 5 more to hand out. So just within my squadron alone, I'm going to be handing out 14 community college of the Air Force associate's degree within just my unit. Education is an important part of the military because an educated force makes us competitive. Finally, military-bound high school seniors will not typically graduate from college, will typically graduate from college debt-free, but will enter the workforce with 4 more years of meaningful work experience. For those students that are going straight to college, by your sophomore year, my recommendation to you is to find a job or internship or something in the field of study that you're going into. This will make you more competitive when you're looking for a job and trying to find a job with no work experience, and I'm telling you this based off of my own experience. Bottom line is military-bound students will have an advantage whether they choose to serve for 4, 10, 20, or 30 years. They will be more responsible, more mature, more accountable, more trained, more prepared, and ready to take on any challenge that life throws at them. The experience and perspectives that they will gain will enable them to be effective leaders in their communities if they choose so. One thing you learn quickly about military service is that each branch has its own personality or culture, and a lot of people in uniform can attest to that. When people ask me what service should they join, I always tell them it depends on your personality, and they should choose the service that they're comfortable with. Personally, I'm a Navy brat, and what that means is my parents were in the Navy, so I grew up in a Navy environment my entire life. And as you can see, I decided to join the Air Force. I joined the Air Force because it matched my interest and personality. I'm a cyber officer by trade, and I want to do something more technical and in the military, and the Air Force was the best service that met that need. I also have an aunt that was in the Navy. I got uncles and cousins that were in the Army. I got an uncle that was in the Marines. And the only service my family's missing that I'm aware of is the Coast Guard. Needless to say, the military service has pretty much become a family occupation for us. Having all these different services represented in the family, of course, we tend to jab at each other from time to time about the service stereotypes. For example, my father, if I see his floors dirty, I say, "Didn't the Navy teach you how to swab the deck?" Or if, to this day, he still irons and puts the crease right down his shirt right here, which is kind of weird to me, but that's something that he learned in the Navy and it sticks with him. My cousins, I'll tell them, go dig a hole in the backyard and go sleep in it. Or I'll draw pictures of them on how to do some instructions. The Marines, my uncle, I'll tell him if he does something stupid, I'll just say, just go run through a wall. And for the Air Force, they always look at me and say, "Don't you guys still do bike tests for your PT test?" And if we did have somebody in the Coast Guard, we'd probably ask him, "Are you really a service?" It's all in good fun, because when it comes down to it, each branch of the U.S. military is the best in the world at what they do. Each service is responsible to organize, train, and equip their forces in order to support a combatant commander. And what does that mean? It means we fight jointly. We are all part of the same team, one fight. And we provide different expertise concurrently to win our battles. While in college, I played some football, and I played a little bit professionally as well. And offensively, you can't throw the ball in the entire game. Defensively, you can't, or you can't run the ball the entire game either. There needs to be some balance to be effective. A strong running game, a strong passing game, and a dangerous special team can offensively overwhelm any opponent. If every position on the team is the best at what they do, it is hard to lose. And that is what these young men and women are about to be a part of, one of the best teams in the world. Brothers and sisters in arms. I'm excited for them and I'm proud for them for stepping up to this calling. My recommendation is to stay in touch with each other and follow each other throughout your careers. All of you will have different experiences which will lead to different perspectives. As a leader, you always need to surround yourself with different perspectives in order to make the best decisions. The Air Force Recruiting Service Commander, my boss, Major General Harensack, will be retiring after 35 years of service. Last week I attended his farewell dinner, and during the dinner he recalled the day he left home 35 years ago. He said his mom was crying and reminding him of all the things he needs to remember. And his dad, who never said much, looked at him and said, "This is your opportunity, time to have your adventure." And that's exactly what he did. So to these young men and women, I say this to you: this is your opportunity, time to go have your adventure. Before I leave, I'd like to ask if there's any veterans in the audience, and can you please stand? I'd like to thank you for your service to our country. These brave students and myself are following your footsteps, and we will continue the tradition of being the world's greatest military. Thank you.
Hi, Mr. Call said my name's Deputy Gavey. I am the school liaison here. My career started in 1990. I graduated high school in 1987, joined the Marine Corps a couple years later. Wasn't really doing much. I went in, served from 1990 to 94. I went as an 0351. That was my MOS. That's your job when you're in. So I was an infantryman. I was in charge of shooting a Dragon, Law, Small. They're shoulder-fired weapons. I think they moved on with those weapons since I was in. But it was a great time. After boot camp, and I went to boot camp in San Diego. I went to my infantry training in San Diego. And then I went to barracks duty, which was in Japan. I was in Japan for a year and a half. Back then, they didn't have the internet. They didn't have computers. You wrote home. Take 14 days for your letter to get home. Your parents wrote you back. Took 14 days. Phone calls, 30 minutes on the phone was $100 back in 1990. So once I got back from Japan, I was redeployed on ship, and we did a float, what they call a float, and I went to Guam, Singapore, Thailand, North or South Korea. For 6 months, you're on ship. There's no phones, no computers. I remember a buddy of mine, his wife had a baby. They let him talk to her for 5 minutes, 3 days after the baby was born. So things have changed. You're going to be able to talk to your parents, moms, dads. They'll be able to call you a lot more. They'll be able to, you get the video chat with them now and everything else. Then I got out, went into construction for a few years, felt the need to serve. I joined, I got hired by the Oakland County Sheriff's Office. I've been there for 17 years. Been in the schools for about 3 years now. I love it. Love working with the kids. Challenging at times, but it's good. I do the staff here, Clarkson Schools, they do an outstanding job. So without further ado, I'd like to invite Ian Wilson up. Let him tell you a little bit about himself.
All right, I'm Ian Wilson, and with me today are my Uncle Larry, my Aunt Renee, my Grandma Wilson, my Aunt Veronica, Gammy, Jessica, my dad, my mom, Frank, my cousin Luke, my Aunt Danielle, my sister, and her girlfriend, Carson. And then I also have my friends up there, Jacob Golab, Drew Dorman, and Carter Hugerworth. And so I enlisted into the Air Force this past summer, and I've already gone through MEPS, and I've done the official swear-in. And my current job is geospatial intelligence, so that's processing satellite images and determining if it's enemy equipment or housing, or if it's civilian or military. And I'm going to go out for SEER, and to do that, you have to complete a physical ability and stamina test. And the SEER job is you get to teach pilots and other special operations units and people how to survive in all the types of biomes, Arctic, desert, you name it. And with me today is Sergeant Lisa Scher. So, yeah.
My turn now?
Yeah, it is your turn.
Well, thank you. So Ian, I know you've been in the delayed entry program for about a year now. So I first met Ian last summer. He came to me, he was kind of trying to decide between a couple of branches. As you can see, he chose Air Force. But just like my commander was saying, you know, it's good for everyone to always explore their options and kind of go with what's right for him. So it's been a pleasure watching Ian kind of like grow throughout this year and get ready for basic training. So Ian does a lot in school. He was in the, what is it called again? Yeah, his Optimist Club. He did wrestling, all sorts of different things. So also thank you to Ian's family and friends for coming. I appreciate your guys' support. It's going to be equally important for you guys to keep up that support while he's in, especially in basic training. Write lots of letters. That's the best part of your day, is getting mail in basic training. But it's been my absolute pleasure working with you. So I've got your certificate of enlistment. So my boss is going to take a picture.
Next, Cody Dillinger. Is that right? Nice.
All right, my name is Cody Dellinger. I'm a private first class of the Ohio National Guard. Today I have my mom, my two younger brothers, and my girlfriend are here. And over the past summer, I went to basic training down in Fort Sill, Oklahoma. This summer, I'm going to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri for my AIT. I'm an 88 Mike motor transportation. I wanted to join the military because I wanted to serve. I wanted the educational benefits, and I have family members that are currently serving. I have a sister who's a second lieutenant in the Army. I've got a brother who's a Navy SEAL, and then I have a dad who's a former Marine, and he's now a warrant officer in the Michigan National Guard. Let's see. This is my recruiter, Sergeant First Class Blessing.
Good afternoon. First of all, I want to thank the school administration, Deputy Gavy, for inviting me up here today. All I'm from Toledo, Ohio. Quite a drive, but it was an enjoyable one. So for the last 13 years, I've been recruiting in the Ohio National Guard, and I've had the pleasure and the honor to stand in front of these podiums and present high school seniors an award for what they have earned with the Ohio National Guard. And obviously this year we have Cody. He's already mentioned about being in basic training last year. He's also been through our RSP program, the Recruit Sustainment Program. So I've known Cody for quite some time, and just like the previous recruiter said, watching them grow, watching them learn the customs and courtesies of the Guard has been very inspiring. And I'm not saying this because I'm standing in front of everybody and your mom right now, but I truly am. He's been one of the top-notch soldiers at our RSP program as of right now, and it's been really a pleasure working with them. So this year like I said, is no different. He's been through the training. He's also had a long line of family members and current family members serving in the military. So it's with my great honor to represent This is 100% scholarship tuition with the Ohio Army National Guard.
Next, I would like to invite Sydney Van Buskirk.
Hi, I'm Sydney. I'm actually going to Michigan State University with an Army ROTC scholarship. With me today, I have my parents, my grandparents, my little sister Haley, and then my best friends. I wanted to pursue the military because it's been a part of my life since I was born. I'll be the sixth generation Van Buskirk in the Army, and I'm excited to uphold the Army values and traditions that have defended our country since its birth. My job in the military will be in the medical field, specifically psychology. I look forward to working with those who need my help. With me today, I have Mr. Robert Sullivan, the MSU Recruiting Operations Officer, to join me.
Good afternoon, everybody. Like she said, I'm Robert Sullivan. I'm the Recruiting Operations Officer for Michigan State's Department of Military Science. And I also want to thank the administration for allowing me to come here. Thank you very much. Today is a testament to the fact that Clarkston High School is filled with exceptional young men and women. I'm honored to be here on behalf of the Department Chairperson, Lieutenant Colonel Jason DeGeorge, to recognize Sydney. Just to give you a quick background, each year nearly 4,000 students apply for these Army ROTC high school scholarships, and after a year-long process, they select about half. They demonstrate exceptional scholastic, athletic, and leadership abilities. Additionally, each applicant must be accepted to an accredited university, and we're thrilled that Sydney chose Michigan State. She's demonstrated the motivation and passion to pursue a career in the United States Army, full of challenges and rewards. At the Spartan Battalion, we're certainly going to challenge you physically and mentally as we hone your leadership skills over the next 4 years. And after graduation, when you raise your right hand to become an officer, I can assure you it'll be one of the most rewarding experiences of your life. So again, as the representative for the Department of Military Science, it is my pleasure to award a 3-year Army ROTC scholarship in excess of $66,000 to Miss Sydney Van Buskirk. She also gets the gratuitous big check and some swag. Congratulations.
Next, I'd like to invite Owen Alexander.
Hello, everyone. I'm Owen Alexander. I will be in the Marine Corps, or the Navy ROTC program with the Marine Corps option at the University of Michigan this fall. I'll be studying physics or aerospace engineering. With me today, I have both sides of the family. I have my mom and sisters, and my mother's parents, and then my dad and his parents. It's a great honor to accept this award, following in the footsteps of my cousins. I have 2 cousins in the Air Force, a cousin in the Marine Corps. And I think it's a big honor to be part of something that's bigger than myself, and just to be able to serve my country in this way. So now I would also like to thank Staff Sergeant Stewart. He couldn't be here today, but he helped me through this application program, as well as Captain Van Vienen.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure to be here this afternoon. My name is Captain Billy Van Vienen, and I'm the Executive Officer for Marine Corps Recruiting Station, Detroit, Michigan. On behalf of the Commandant of the Marine Corps and my commanding officer, congratulations to the class of 2018. Before I present the scholarship, I would like to thank 2 groups of individuals. First, I'd like to thank the principal and the staff. Thank you for your support to the Marine Corps and allowing us into your school throughout the year. Without you, presenting scholarships like this would not be possible. Second, I would like to thank all the veterans in attendance. All right, this scholarship I'm about to give is to one of your seniors worth $180,000. It covers their entire tuition and mandatory fees for 4 full college years. At the end of those 4 years, in earning a bachelor's degree, this individual will go on to serve our country as a commissioned officer in the United States Marine Corps. Earning this scholarship is no small feat. In recruiting station Detroit area of responsibility, there were only 7 students who were selected for this scholarship this year. They were selected for their leadership, physical fitness, academic achievements, community involvement, and burning desire to serve our country as a United States Marine. This individual scored a 244 out of a possible 300 on a physical fitness test, scored 34 on his ACT, and has a 4.16 GPA. One of the recipients of this year's NRTC Marine Option Scholarship is Owen Alexander, who will be attending the University of Michigan. Please join me in a round of applause.
And now for Edmund Ketzler.
All right. Hey, guys. Hope you all enjoyed my little national anthem. I've been working very hard on that for a while now, so. It was an honor being able to perform in front of all of you guys. That is actually what I'm going to be doing as my job in the United States Marine Corps. It is called the MEOP, and basically what that is I'm going to be a Marine musician. And that's how it all started. Was that the one reason, like, how I heard about the Marine Corps Band and why I even wanted to start doing it in the first place was because, like, last year, I never knew the Marine Corps Band existed. Something like this, something like where I could play my instrument and do something I love. I never really knew something like this existed, but up until last year. And immediately when I found out about this, I had to get down to MEPS. I had to swear in, like, as soon as possible so I could get this started. And it was a long process. There were many nights where, the winter was very cold. I practiced out in the garage. There were many nights where I was freezing, bundled up in jackets and stuff like that practicing, and I was wondering, why am I doing this? And I kept telling myself it's because this is something way beyond myself, and this is something that is absolutely incredible, and I'll be doing something I love, and I'll be getting the benefits that every single other, person in the armed forces will be receiving, just doing what I love. And at this moment, I would like to introduce my recruiting officer, Staff Sergeant Stewart. No, Bullbat.
Thank you for having me here, everybody from the staff. So, like he said, this was not a short process for him. It was 9 months ago was whenever he first went down to MEPS to swear in to the delayed entry program. And after 3 video submissions and 3 in-person auditions with the musician placement director, he finally was able to get his job as a clarinet player for the United States Marine Corps Band. So with his perseverance, he was able to push through and make it through a process that not everybody is skilled enough to pass. So with that being said, I couldn't be more proud of you to be a musician in the Marine Corps Band.
Okay, I want to give one more thank you to Julie Kazook and Julie Colvert for helping set up this up. And if you have any questions, you want to talk with us, talk with the recruiters, this would be a great opportunity. Once again, can you get a hand for everybody that came up? The most important part. We have to swear them in, don't we? That's why we're here. Okay. Lieutenant Colonel Edmonds is going to be swearing the recruits in. Yep.
You guys can come down.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. And I will obey the orders of the President of the United States. And the orders of the officers appointed over me. According to regulations. And the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God. Congratulations.